What's up, everybody? I'm Randy.
And I'm Joe.
And this is Remember These. And today we're here to talk about Hot Wheels.
Get Mattel's new Hot Wheels, the fastest metal cars you've ever seen. These are the fast ones, Mattel's new Hot Wheels. Race a car that's got Hot Wheels against one that doesn't, and look what happens. New Hot Wheels. Get them with special tracks so you can race them or stunt them. Watch how cars that have Hot Wheels outperform these other cars. Get Mattel's new Hot Wheels, the fastest metal cars you've ever seen.
Okay, guys, so today we're here to talk all about Hot Wheels. Everything from memories we've had as kids, the toys that they've made other than the cars, cases, comic books, you name it. They make everything for all the way from 1968 when it first came out, as you've seen probably from the little previous commercial I posted. That's supposed to be the fastest, best cars out. It was actually from, I think, a guitar string was the original axle that they made for the thin axles for them, which made them faster. And then they had kind of like a little suspension, so it outperformed the other cars on like the track sets and stuff. When you see stuff like this with like the loops in it and everything, the reason Hot Wheels go around it is because they have faster wheels. They spin better, so they don't get locked up. Some of the first things that we're going to bring up and talk about today are the cases. Toy set cases like this one. This one is an original 1968 Hot Wheels Action City playset. Looks like a briefcase. Open it up. Boom. How sick is that?
Town in there. That's awesome.
Found this for $25 a couple years back. It's been a while now. At a closed down indoor flea market that's no longer there anymore. That was kind of a good find. I've still kept this now. Probably always will. Joe's had this one since he was a kid.
Yeah, this is my childhood case. I can remember the day my dad brought this to me. And, sometimes I let my son play with this. This just has a bunch of cars in it that, we play with together now that I'm a dad. So, you can see it's full of cars. And it actually has this car in it that this is one of my earliest Hot Wheels that I can remember having as a child. I kept it all this time. So, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, here's some different style ones. That he's got the Super Rally case, and if you can see the front and the back side of it here, flip your.
I'm missing a sticker on the back side of mine.
But even his one sticker is a little bit different from these ones, so that's pretty sweet. They always had different variations. This was just the regular Rally case. This held 12. The other one held 24. So, and then we got a couple. I have a few other ones too that are really sweet. Ooh, knocking everything down, but.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
This one is an engine case from 1995. This one is a 25-year anniversary one. This one is sweet. I got this from an old collector that we used to get stuff from all the time. Actually, was it 96? Yeah, I think it's probably 96. Oh, 92. Sorry. There you go. 1992. So it's even older than I thought.
And so I think another thing we should talk about is like what is the value on cases and stuff when people find them at flea markets or yard sales or whatever. Like what should they look for and what are they worth?
Well, the main thing they should look for is to make sure those stickers are still on them, like we showed how they had the different variations. Obviously his was peeled off of the back of the one side, so if they have no stickers on them, I mean, they're still worth money because they're old cases and they came from back then, so it's like they still hold their value just from what they say on the outside. But if they have the paint, if they have the stickers, if they still have old cars inside of them that were like original cars that the owner had, a lot of times you can find those stock cases, so that's also good to look for.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we mentioned before, Hot Wheels doesn't only make cars, they make a plethora of things. As you can see, they got Hot Wheels Build-A-Bears, Hot Wheels lunch boxes. These are old computer mouses. This is an old vintage Hot Wheels bike banana seat. And Hot Wheels comics, which these are actually some pretty good comics to have because they're kind of rare. I have 4, 5, and 6. I need 1, 2, and 3. But it's a small run of comics that I picked these up from a comic shop local in Akron a long time ago. But yeah, I've been holding on to these. I love these. But so much different things. Like this is just the beginning of it. They make hats and air fresheners and anything has Hot Wheels on it. Clothing, like you guys know it because it's one of the biggest toys of all time. Everybody plays with Hot Wheels
out there. Yeah, Hot Wheels is everywhere. Bed sheets,
boys, girls,
curtains.
anybody can play with the Hot Wheels. Young, old, it doesn't matter. I mean, shit, you see it. We're grown men. I got toys. Sorry.
So a few years back when me and Randy really started collecting, Hot Wheels was the first thing that we got into. We were at a flea market and we just saw a bunch of dollar cars, and that's basically what they were. It was just a bunch of dollar cars. They were older though. So
ones from the
cars.
90s that we had as kids, pretty much. So.
Yeah, so that got us into it. But then we kind of went on a spree where it got to a point where we were looking for more rare and rare Hot Wheels and higher end ones.
Not even so much rare, but kind of unique ones, like things
more
like this.
collectible. Yeah, harder to find
Things like the revealers, other cars. Like these aren't expensive cars. These are kind of cheap. You can find these for fairly good, like $8, like $9, $10. Like this is a really nice card. So probably like 15 for something like this, but they're not that expensive. Hot Wheels can go all the way up to in the thousands, like hundreds of thousands of dollars for some cars. But this is what we started looking for after the original.
So cool. And I see on the back of that it has a free ice cream cone ad.
Yeah, free ice cream cone ad. Just
I wonder that's still good.
At Dairy Queen. 1990. Oh, it expired in '94.
I'm like, you'll still honor this, right?
That's hilarious.
So yeah, but I remember at the time it was very early on, and me and him saw an ad on Facebook Marketplace, and we went and both got these, and they're Happy Meal haulers.
One of 7,000.
Yeah, so here's two of the 7,000.
His just looks yellowed because it's in that yellow plastic.
Yeah,
but
the yellow bubble.
They're both mint condition. Somebody was selling them for $20 together, and we couldn't pass them up. They were $10 a piece, and now they're probably worth more than that.
Yeah, so this, I mean, very, very early on, this was one of like the different, those type of cars, like something a little different. And eventually, you know, Randy went on to get some things that are very rare. So
yeah, a lot of things I get though are Mustangs, because that is my favorite car. Obviously, I have a Mustang. Ford is one of my favorites. So some of the cars I was collecting were just a lot of rare Mustangs and everything. I sold off a lot of my other collection, which I still have a ton of it or whatever. But I sold off a lot of the other stuff that I didn't want anymore so much when I first started collecting to buy more high-end Mustangs. And there's some like, oh, you can't even see them, but they're all the way up to the top. You'll see them in the B-roll or whatever. But I have a Fox Body Mustang and a Boss Mustang. I paid $25 for the Boss Mustang when it came out on the redlineclub.com, and I paid $45 3 or 4 years ago for the Fox Body one. Both of those cars are now worth $350 for the Fox Body or more, and then the Boss goes anywhere from $300 to I've seen up to $1,000, and I have a pretty low number because there's only a limited run of some of these cars. They're the more detailed cars, which that's another thing. I'll have some B-roll of a real detailed Redline car so you can see kind of like what they look like compared to your basic non-rubber tire, just $1 run of the cars that you see at like the store. Which you can find really expensive ones hidden within too. That's how you get treasure hunts and super treasure hunts. And those are just things that we learned over time from collecting, like what to look for, like which packages had like the right symbols and stuff on them and everything. So
you learn a lot on your own going out there and hunting and doing it once you're into it. But also, I was just thinking about this as you were talking. There's a lot of people I think we've met along the way.
Especially if you give us stuff like that. Hand me that.
What is it? This one? Or what?
The price guide right there.
Yeah, this one's okay. Yeah, this definitely will help.
Yeah, right here. Stuff like this. This is one of the first things ever. We met an old man a long time ago, and he gave me this. It's actually signed too by the guy that made this book. But it talks all about the cars. It shows detailed pictures, all the variations of the cars, the prices of them. There's tons of different guides too. Not every guide shows you the right price. I feel like eBay prices things a lot better. Like if you look on eBay, the sold listings.
You definitely got to go with eBay. But what about who's the guy that had all the Mustangs that you started getting Mustangs from?
Russ.
Yeah. We met a lot of cool people like Russ along the way.
A lot of different collectors. Beba King from the Attic. All the different places we went to, there was a cool collector somewhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys just have tons of stuff that it's like we did. Started collecting. You get bored of it. It sits in boxes for so long, and then new guys like us come along. It's cool to us, so it's like go ahead, have at it. So
Randy is, like he said, really into the Mustangs, and he has tons and tons.
Yeah, I have boxes on top of boxes. This isn't even everything that's in this room.
He has cases on cases, but I kind of, once I knew that I couldn't keep up with him for one, and I wanted to get into collecting other things also, I started spreading out my collection, and we'll talk about all that stuff in other episodes, but I dwindled it down to where I decided I was only going to really collect 32 and 34 Fords, and that's like pretty much the main bulk of my collection. And I have a few other things I'm going to talk about, but I did bring these to show. I got this unpunched 3-window 34, so like I have a ton of these at home. I probably have like over 50 variations hanging on my wall.
And this is an old Hot Wheels card from, what year is this one? This is a 1988 card. So you can always see, like, compared to your newer run-of-the-mill, like these ones, that's like a 90s card compared to that. So you can always tell from that. And then you got your newer cards, like that one where it's just the small emblem up and then it has like some pop culture on it. So this is like a 2018 or 17, I think, or 14. Sorry, but still way newer than that one.
So that's definitely something to look for. But yeah, I was inspired to do that just kind of because I, grew up going to car shows with my grandpa. He was born in 1934, and like that was just kind of like his what he was into. So that's what I was into. And so I also have this, and this is another one of those things that goes with what we were saying about like the more. It's not super rare and super expensive, but it's just something different that you don't see everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And it's these Chuck E. Cheese. We have a bunch of these.
You
Chuck
might
E.
be
Cheese
able
cars.
to see them. I don't know if you can see over this far on the camera. I think you can, but these three are
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese cars too. I got the van, the Corvette, and the drag car.
He has a bunch. I have a few at home. I forget. I have a few different ones. I have a 40 Ford, and I have a couple ones.
I think we have the whole set between the
two
of
of us. Yeah, but so like this is just another cool 32. I have tons of 32s at home also. But just cool cars like that is what gets me going. I like that.
And not even so much Hot Wheels either. Like we are talking about Hot Wheels obviously this episode, but anything. Johnny Lightning's honorable mention. Racing Champions honorable mention.
Oh
you
yeah,
got
of course.
Green Lights honorable mention. Majorettes. Mastio.
Eventually, we'll probably do whole episodes or short episodes on
All the
covering
rest
at least
of
some
them.
of those. Yeah,
But there's Matchbox. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different kinds of diecast cars that are really cool castings. Are really just cool to collect. Like I said, everybody loves cars, and a lot of people that you can find your car, but miniatures. So a lot of people collect like that too.
And this just made me think. It's funny you have these right here because that's the next thing I was going to talk about. Is I don't know if you guys can see between us. He has the Gone in 60 Seconds set and the Walking Dead. Those are actually green light, but Hot Wheels makes all kinds of like movie related, as you guys know, and
pop culture
related cars as well.
Like this.
And other than the 32s and 34 Fords, that's one of the things that I like to.
Well, I just got killed by one of my toys.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
But like pop culture stuff like this, like Back to the Future or
So-
Scooby Doo or anything.
That's like why I have the Batman car. Here I have the Fast and Furious. Got the Skyline. I do collect like different movies and things like that I'm into. I grab.
My mint Frieza just fell off the wall to interrupt this. No.
But yeah, so I like to collect cars and stuff that have pop culture references to them. And this one actually specifically is a custom that Randy made for me. You'll never get this. This is a one of ones. He stripped the paint off of it.
I forgot. This one I literally just stripped down and sanded down a long time ago when I started doing like custom Hot Wheels. But you can go way deep into doing customs and do stuff like this where you just do funny things. I did an entire tire swap, engine swap. This thing has, I don't know if you can see it, but it has like little nitrous cables. I put an LS motor in it, blasphemous for a Fox body. There's like a little nitrous tank in the back. I custom built that in there. Little pieces of anything, wiring. There's another battery back there with wire from it. So you can paint the seats, interiors, and people are really good at doing this. Like I have one from a dude, Mike's Collectibles in California. There's a lot of guys that do super good paint jobs and decals.
High end.
Pretty high end. And these were going, when I was one of the first guys to get one of these from him, and I got the metal bottom from him and everything. I paid $45 for this. People were paying him $350 a piece after a couple months of him making these because this specific car, actually from Hot Wheels, not the custom, but it looks just like this almost, goes for thousands of dollars, the Candy Striper, because they only made like 2,500 of these. So all these customs go for so much money. So it's pretty cool how many people can make creative things.
Yeah, and I think whether you get into Hot Wheels for collecting them and for the value, or you just like how they look, or you just want to play with them with your kids, like it's all cool either way. Like Hot Wheels is just awesome. It's definitely one of the best toy brands.
That's been around for a long time.
There is, yeah. We rave all the time about like Toy Biz and Kenner, and like there's a lot of big toy brands that are hot, but Hot Wheels is like
they even got Hot Wheels edition Camaros out from like 2016-17.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know about those, the 50th anniversaries, and they're crazy.
Definitely. Real quick before I forget, I told my son I would talk about one car that he wanted me to talk about, and it's in this case right here that I said we play with. And he picked this one out, and I asked him why, and he said just because it looks old and beat up and played with, he thought that was the coolest thing about it. And it's just like an old 57. It's yellow. It's definitely been through the ringer, played with. So I just wanted to shout him out. My son Brayson, that's his favorite car, and he wanted to show you guys. So
Woo, shout out Ray. That's actually the first car that I ever did a custom on. My grandma had one of those sitting on her shelf, and I re-stripped it down painted it black and redid the windows and stuff. And I don't know where it's at. It's got to be in a box somewhere. I have tons of boxes just full of loose cars. So I have nowhere to even put loose cars right now. I need to build more shelves in here. So that'll be next. But
definitely. I feel like there's so much more Hot Wheels related stuff that we could talk about. We could definitely do a whole nother episode.
I was gonna say we could go on. We could do a 5-part episode on Hot Wheels.
Yeah. So
there's just so much.
If you guys watch this, hit the comments and let us know if you have any questions about Hot Wheels. Definitely between us, we can answer.
Or any
questions.
memories of Hot Wheels.
Yeah, any memories, share memories. We definitely want to hear from you guys. But if there's any other episode stuff you want us to talk about and do another one, like let us know and we will cover anything you want. Like
any specific kind of Hot Wheels thing or whatever, because we're here to stay again now. Like I said, we got our new rooms built. Yeah. This is the intro to my room and stuff. We'll be in Joe's basement next time, so you can see more of his man cave.
We're gonna try and do weekly episodes, and I think to talk about next time we might do like Marvel characters, toys, or something like that. So we'll see. We'll put something together, but we'll be back next week and.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy.
Remember these.